Hey, how's it going? This is Josh from Books by Josh, and this is episode number 39 of the Books by Josh audio immersion. This episode is titled Hanging Out. This episode is actually inspired by a quote I heard from Denzel Washington on one of his talks on YouTube in front of a college where he said, "If you hang around the barbershop long enough, you will get a haircut." Which sounds like a joke, but it basically means when you hang around certain type of people in a certain area, you're gonna adapt to it. Hence the haircut. So basically, you're not immune to getting the haircut, even if you're not intending to get one. So let's talk about this. How do I know this to be true? The way we speak, or personally, the way I speak. I tend to bring things that I've learned over the years into my speech pattern. For example, jokes I say, the way I talk, mannerisms, anything in that nature or of that nature, I've learned from someone. From being around certain people, I've picked up certain words like the word slaps or tiger from people I've worked with for over 5, 6 years. And I talk Spanglish. I've changed between Spanish and English depending on who I'm having a conversation with because I've adapted to this over the years. So, what does this have to do with you, the listener? Absolutely everything. Because let's take, for example, our friends who we hang out with, hence the name hanging out. We all know the same. We're the average of the sum of the five closest people we hang out with. So, if you take the five closest people and add up their income, you're the average of all five. That's what they say. Is it fully true? I have no idea. I've done the math, and it's pretty accurate. But it's not concrete. But when you start thinking about the way you think, the way you act, and how successful you are, it's the people around you that show you who you'll become. If you hang around with why people instead of why not, you're eventually going to become a why. You have to hang around people that are going to uplift you, give you motivation. For example, in my recent post on my site, I talk about a mantra I added to the end of my blog post. Why? Because it's cool. And why not? So that mantra, I'm going to read it to you here. Remember to be successful. It's your right, duty, and responsibility. Basically, it's to change your mindset. Success isn't reliant on external factors. It's reliant on one thing, and that's you. Which is why I have extreme ownership on audiobook because we make up 100% of the problem. We are it. And we have to understand that in order to go forward. And that's the whole thing here. Our environment helps turn us to what we are. It's not about nurture versus nature. No, I'm talking about where we choose to hang out, spend our time, who we hang out with. If on your downtime you're binge watching a show all night or all day on your off day, chances are you're not that productive. And when you try to attempt something in life, you get bored easily. And guess what? You give up. But if you're the type of person who, on your day off, you learn a new craft or skill voluntarily, not because your job told you you have to, but because you want to, you're going to become successful. It's like the people who go to the gym on their own, no matter what day it is, that done their New Year's resolution, they're more likely to lose weight than those who just go because New Year, new me. And that's the whole thing, just like my episode about fees. This is a mindset podcast episode. I want to change your mindset from average to above average. I have no word for it right now. One day I'll probably come up with it, probably tomorrow if I can't fall asleep. But the whole thing is you have to take a look at where you're hanging out. what habits you're picking up, good or bad. Like, let's take Arnold Schwarzenegger. Until the Recall, his book, he talks about how he did bricklaying with Franco and also worked out with Franco. And because of that, Franco increased his productivity and became a world-class bodybuilder also. You could say Franco was a good bodybuilder, but when he started bricklaying and working out with Arnold exclusively, he became better because of who he hung out with. Who he hung up with. That's the main thing. Mark Cuban says that you go to college not to learn, but for the connections you make there, the people you hang out, everything. We learn from our parents how to talk, we learn how to walk from our parents. We learn a lot. We learn how to read from our parents at school, this and that. So we learn from others. That doesn't go away. I learned to talk and give advice from advice I've heard over the years, from podcasts I listen to, from books I've read, and that's the whole thing. We emulate those around us. So if we're emulating bad things, that's the problem. That's why I need you guys to take a look at where you're hanging out or who you're hanging out with. Not for me, because I personally don't care, but rather for you guys. So just do me one favor. Remember to be successful. It's your right, duty, and responsibility. That's exactly how I'm ending this later.